Lord Mayor.
Yes.
One would want to understand, in principle, why you are opposed to this particular proposal. Is it a matter of law? Is it a matter of processes? Is it a political battle between you and President Yoweri Museveni? Because I've seen some people on social media who are actually saying you are anti-development because this is development, and they're saying you're mixing it with politics.
You see, those charlatans, they miss one thing. And this is a culture, I mean, a cancer which is eating up this country.
Well, I've never heard you use those kind of words before. Today you are so combative on this show.
I'm sorry, the gloves are off.
Describe some people as gullible, now they're charlatans.
I'm sorry, because it really disturbs, it baffles me. For somebody to indict me, to accuse me of fighting a plan which I have never seen. You have to be fair to me. I am the custodian of the property of Ugandans, whether you like me or not, whether one voted for me or not. For now, as long as I'm the Lord Mayor, I am the custodian of people's property. I am the custodian of that trench, that drainage channel. Okay, I have struggled to develop it. The plan has not been financed. You can accuse me, Kali. Fine, agreed, accuse me. I have not developed it. But must I allow it to go away just like that on a silver platter?
What do you mean going away?
Being alienated, being taken over, grabbed by an individual called Hammks Kiggundu. Because we are talking about property. We are talking about land. Forget about the drain. The drain channel does not sit in the air. It sits on land. And in law, we have a principle that quick with the brat and tool, solo said it. Whatever is on land is land. So our property, which was entrusted to me as the custodian, as a trustee, is being grabbed under my watch. And you expect me to just escort them, to just clear them? No way. Listen, even if Hammks has good ideas, and forget about these processes, does he in any way talk about that asset being constructed for Ugandans? Because Mr. Museveni is in the letter, he's saying, Hammks has been cleared now to construct structures on top of that drainage channel. Meaning actually that land has been given to Hammks. Does he have a leasehold there? Does he have you know, there's a title, we call a title in fee simple, that is freehold. Does he have an MOU with the KCCA? Is there a PPP arrangement? You know, we have Public-Private Partnership Act, a PPP Act, which was enacted by Parliament. There are systems worldwide which you can adopt to enter into a joint venture if that's what we wanted.
All right.
If it was, let me conclude this.
Very quickly.
Entebbe Expressway was constructed by the Chinese. They are collecting money. But there is a contract, however much we disagree with it, that build, own, transfer. BOT. So is this a BOT arrangement that is going to build, operate for some time, and subsequently transfer to us? Or it is something that has been bequeathed to him, given away to him in perpetuity, so that actually he's putting it in his will, that upon death, NAKIVUBO drainage channel will go to my son, so and so. I don't know whether he has he's a man who belongs to Nchimakira.
All right, Spectrum
could be having a Lukwago in his family.
Let's go for this break. When we return, we'll continue discussion more on the challenges that faces Kampala with the Lord Mayor Erias Lukwago. Do not go away, but keep your comments coming via the WhatsApp line 0703 090 090. Your submission there clearly, it points to a fact that there is no money to work on this.
We have it's agreed and settled. We have a plan.
Oh, you have a plan.
The plan has been starved of funding by the government of Uganda.
Okay. By
General Kaguta Museveni has refused to inject money into the implementation of this master plan.
All right.
Yes.
Now there is a man who suddenly writes to the president and tells him that, look, I have a plan. I will use my own money, work on NAKIVUBO drainage channel, widen it, put in modern infrastructure, then construct some buildings on top of it, and recoup my money. It's a problem of money. You have a plan, but you're supposed to decide here of Kiggundu. What exactly is the issue with that plan?
Of course, Mr. Museveni is being disingenuous. And he knows what he's doing, the games they are playing. You see, it cannot be Hammks Kiggundu who has got these wonderful ideas of transforming NAKIVUBO Stadium into a first world facility, a first-class facility. It can't be the same person now also talking about the drainage channel, the same person taking over Parker Yard, the same person who has taken part of St. Valley Kudembe Market, and is the only person who is now intervening to fix the problems which government has failed to handle.
Maybe
does that make sense? Is it logical to you?
A creative mind.
Oh my God.
Applying a business mind to development matters.
Which has defeated Muvawala. Muvawala is in charge of National Planning Authority. So why don't you remove Muvawala from National Planning Authority and appoint him if he's that very, very, astute when it comes to planning?
The difference between Muvawala and Ham in this particular situation would be that while Muvawala can't do the planning, he does not have the resources, and Ham seems to be putting forward the resources to solve the problem.
This man, the PSST, who used to be a regular here, Gobi Ramadan, he was picked from wherever he was. Where was he before? And he was given that job of PSST. Did he have enough money? He didn't have money, but he had ideas, he had brains. So if you have a brain of such a serious planner, and you're saying, oh my God, because when you look at Museveni's letter, he said this plan is godly. It is divine ordained. That's what Museveni is saying. It's godly, divine ordained.
Actually, he says
if you have a visionary person like that, why don't you appoint him in his cabinet, in your cabinet?
He actually says his proposal is imaginative and simple. Allow him to cover the channel after cleaning it and strengthening it at his own cost. What a really godly proposal. How will he recover the money? Simple. Allow him to build properties above it that will bring back his money. Lord Mayor, let's look at this proposal in principle.
You see, Mr. Museveni used this
in principle.
In principle, Museveni says it's imaginative. In other words, it's fantasy. That is a fantasy. It's abstract. It is something intended to bluff you. It's a bluff. To hoodwink you. To persuade you. And I can see simple minds everywhere in the social media. Gullible minds, including intellectuals. I don't want to doubt their credentials and their intentions. I want to believe that actually they have been hoodwinked and they could be genuine in their observations. But how can you, because he said it is that simple. You see, Museveni is not an architect. There is a reason why people go to the university and study architecture. They become planners, they become architects. There is a reason. And I was asking myself, is Museveni now the state planner? Why do we have even these processes where you have to have, because for us as KCCA, we have a whole directorate in charge of planning. We have a director who was appointed by Mr. Museveni to handle planning of the city. He's called the Vincent Byanda. He's our city planner. Previously, we had a planner who didn't have the qualifications. Parliament recommended they should be removed. But this one, he's a qualified city planner. So what is he doing here if the plans are now being approved in the State House? There is the Kampala Physical Planning, the Physical Planning Act. It's an act of parliament which was made in 2010. It creates a number of structures which handle and have to process plans, including the PPC. In case you have a PPC, Physical Planning Committee, which is the first entry, kind of vetting center.
A sieve.
A sieve, which is chaired by the deputy ED. You ask him if he has any idea about this plan. The person who chairs that physical planning committee and comprises of city planners. Then from there, the law provides you do not go ahead to implement that plan. There is another tier. It's called the Building Committee. It's a creation of another act of 2013, the Building Control Act. It also does some checking and vetting and whatnot before finally the plan is approved and you are given a commencement letter to go ahead. And even before you do that, you get a holding permit. But before these committees sit, they are required to get a certificate from NEMA and say, please, is whatever you're going to approve there as a plan permissible? Is it allowed to be constructed within a wetland, within a corridor like a NAKIVUBO? You have to get a NEMA certificate. So there is that NEMA Act of 2019, which provides for NEMA, and NEMA's work is to regulate developments within wetlands. So you have the executive director of NEMA, Barirega Akankwasa. Where is he in all this matrix? In this matrix, where is the role of Barirega Akankwasa? Now, I want to mention all of them. Barirega Akankwasa, NEMA. Vincent Byandaimira, Director Physical Planning. Benoni Chigenyi, Chairperson, Physical Planning Committee. We have Building Control Committee, that one at least is chaired by a councillor. Then you have, and they are also planners. Then you have the Building Review Board. That one, I don't know the executive director, but Izua, you know, the journalist, is the spokesperson for that National Building Review Board. Then we used also to have the National Physical Planning Board, chaired by Amanda Ngabirano. And Musveveni said, there are too many now. Let's rationalize them. This one was phased out, and I think it was transferred to
National Planning Authority.
National Planning Authority. Where is Muvawala? So all these people must be sacked. If Mr. Musveveni now is the one who has discovered this, the way Vasco da Gama discovered America, if Musveveni is the one who has discovered this as an explorer, then all these officers must be sacked.
Now,
to us, and then this is something that you can easily verify. And time and again we have talked about our plans, which are gathering dust in KCCA. And you are not rendering us a listening ear. Even up to now, there are people who are asking, but do you have plans? We have tried to explain this. Even after this talk show, when you open the calls, people will ask, but what plan do you have for NAKIVUBO? Let me explain it before they even call in. But I know they will call in and ask, did you have plans before he showed up to intervene? We have the Kampala Drainage Master Plan. The process was sponsored by World Bank. 2016. It is such a beautiful blueprint on the development of our drainage channels, both primary and secondary drainage channels. The consultants who were hired, they identified quite a number of interventions that we needed to embark on, specifically starting with the primary drainage channel. They identified 8 key drainage channels. Number 1, NAKIVUBO. Number 2, Lubigi. Number 3, Nalukolongo. Number 4, Chinawataka. Then in that order, you continue with the Nalubaga. There is Walufumbe, which is those ends of Gaba and whatnot. You have Kansanga and the I've mentioned the Nalubaga, yes. So they are 8 in total. Oh, no, yes, Kalidubi, that is Mayanja. This corridor you see, which gets flooded, you know, they are flash floods. The English call it flash floods. Those flash floods you always witness at Entebbe Road. It's because we have not fixed Bata. It's that area which is always waterlogged. It's because of not Walufumbe, Mayanja. You call it Kalidubi. It's on the border of Kampala and Wakiso. So all those ones are highlighted in our Kampala Drainage Master Plan. They guided us. We needed a total sum, because each plan has got the cost implication. 220 million US dollars. 220. Convert that into local currency, it's less than 1 trillion Uganda shilling. Way back 2016. 2025 now, it's 9 years down the road. Government of Uganda agreed with us that each year we shall allocate 22 million US dollars towards the reconstruction of the drainage channels, financing that drainage master plan. 22 million US dollars for 10 years, 2026, rather 2016, 2026. As we speak today, you have talked about all these monies. It's donor funds, largely. The only substantial amount we have gotten, all these 9 years, it's cuts of the, thanks to development partners, specifically World Bank. You've heard of KIDIP, Kampala Institution and Infrastructure Development Project 2, KIDIP 2. We got 60 billion US dollars that was committed towards the reconstruction of Rubiji, and it was never completed. And the contractors, who are a Chinese company, did show the work. We are still battling with them. They left a 900 square meter stretch which was not worked on. And even what they did there, they just dug ponds which are breeding grounds for rodents. That is all they did. And death traps there. People, kids have been drowning in Rubiji because they collect a lot of water there. What we've managed to fix, at least to some reasonable standard, was Nakamiro. Nakamiro is not a primary drainage, it's secondary. It's a feeder channel, it's some kind of, it's not an arterial drainage channel. It's one which feeds Rubiji. It's a tributary. It's a tributary, sort of, which drains that whole corridor stretching from Kazangora all through Bwayise up to Rubiji. Bwayise Junction these days, you can see the floods are not that bad much the way they used to be back in the day. At least because we managed at least to fix Nakamiro. But the area of Karerwe, Bwayise, down Chikamarimari, you go up to Namungona, Kawara, we still have a problem. And many of those people were never compensated. So that is the little money we got. Subsequent to that, nothing. Government of Uganda funding is zero towards drainage. Implementation of the drainage master plan. Zero. They have made no commitment whatsoever. So you have talked about the Greater Kampala Metropolitan Area project. It's 680 million US dollars. I put my foot on the ground and I said, this time around, we must incorporate in our scope of work for that particular project, at least construction of 2 drainage channels, 2 primary drainage channels. I insisted on it. Ask all the stakeholders in KCCA and all those who have participated in this project how assertive I have been on this issue. How I have quarreled, literally quarreling with the people in charge of appropriation there. That we must, because there are 4 components actually. 1, mobility, focusing on interconnectivity, those roads connecting Kampala to the neighboring suburbs. 2, environment and resilience. 3, job creation. 4, capacity building of institutional enhancement. So on the component of the urban resilience and environment, which is in line with the spirit and letter of the SDG 9 under the Agenda 2030, it's about fixing the drainage channels. I said now here, for me, I focused my attention on 2 things about environment, on that component, construction of drainage master, implementation of the Kampala Drainage Master Plan. At least we fix Narukolongo and Mayanja as we mobilize resources to deal with NAKIVUBO, because NAKIVUBO requires a lot of money. Up to now, I'm still struggling. Government of Uganda had made a commitment to contribute 577 counter funding, 577 million. World Bank 566. 518 million US dollar was a loan, 48 a grant. Government of Uganda 577. Up to now they have not contributed a cent. Even what we got from World Bank, the Ministry of Kampala chopped off 18 million US dollar, which they took to capacity building in the ministry because they said they wanted now to set up the ministry, to kickstart the processes of making the ministry function. We said, please, we can't borrow money to buy computers, to buy office equipment, when actually we need to fix the problems of Kampala. So we even took this matter to Parliament. Parliament promised to intervene. Up to now, they are yet to get back to us. We even took it to the IGG. And up to now, even if you called here the Minister for Kampala, Madam Hajati Misakabanda, or Chofato, they can't account for that money. We said, bring that money, 18 million US dollar, which is close to 70 billion Uganda shillings, we put towards the construction of the drainage channels. They refused.
Now,
letter had been kept under wraps, as you know.
it was authored on the 2nd of August.
Yes, today is. Why does it come today?
Because there's need to implement. As you might have seen yesterday, drainage channel, NAKIVUBO drainage channel was actually sealed off.
No, it wasn't yesterday. It was not
sealed
yesterday.
off with
Saturday night.
Iron sheets.
Saturday night.
And
so you see,
activities have begun.
Listen, we are talking about even if Mr. Musveveni had arrogated himself those powers, of course, which he does not have under the law, wouldn't he do it in a very transparent manner? Even if he had wanted to usurp the powers of KCCA, go to cabinet. At least discuss it with the colleagues in the cabinet. At least share it with the parliament. At least any forum where there are other stakeholders. You don't just give away public property by just a stroke of a pen. That is an insult to all of us. It is an insult to Ugandans. That this country belongs to Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Do you know how the centuries we have had?
It might not belong to him, but he's the chief executive officer, takes responsibility for everything that happens in this country, and sometimes acts in the good of the city of Kampala.
Arbitrarily?
Well, tell us, what should have been the process beyond what you've mentioned?
Exactly. If indeed Hammks had good intentions, what stopped him from walking into state, even if he didn't meet the road mayor? You present it to the relevant authorities in the KCCA. You get it? And that's why I really wondered and sympathized with the councillors. This letter is August. This matter, we took it to council in April this year, 3rd April, after getting the red flag, because Hammks had started encroaching on NAKIVUBO channel illegally, had constructed a structure on Jugula, which is a tributary to NAKIVUBO. Actually, it adjoins NAKIVUBO, St. Balikudemba, and all those other neighborhoods, the vicinity there. So he had encroached on all those pieces of land. He had no approved plan. Up to now, the structure is there. He didn't have even the cuts of getting a hold. He had nothing. So our director of physical planning wrote to him and gave him a notice in accordance with the law. Please bring it down those illegal structures. He refused. Then we were constrained to commence criminal proceedings against him. We preferred a charge sheet against him for those illegal constructions. It was sanctioned by the people who were charged with that. Our Directorate of Legal was pursuing the same. All of a sudden, he realized that we are descending on him, and he didn't even have a NEMA certificate. And we told Barirega, you ever, pouncing on these hapless people in Rubiji, Nabweru, wherever, and you are protecting these big-time criminals. So we got the charge sheet, filed, the case was filed at KCCA court, and we extracted the summons. The then acting ED, Frank Arusa, had to sit down with him at Stay Hall, and then frustrated the process. So I was constrained to take the matter to council. I said, please, let the council intervene. Oh my God. I was treated to a rude shock when the councillors roundly rejected the proposals that I put on table. the report. It was a damning report highlighting all these issues that wanted the prosecution to go ahead. And I asked them to put a moratorium on all processes leading to approval of plans in wetlands, and to ask the IGG to investigate how people had acquired leases within, because there are so many people claiming ownership. There are many. There are multiple titles there. There's Chitandwe, even the Right Honorable Deputy Speaker Tayewa had acquired the title there way back in 2012. He had paid 33 million to Kampala District Land Board, and they gave him a title. You had those issues in the Parliament because he had brought his plans to construct a commercial structure there. He was told, please, we are not approving your plans because that is a wetland corridor. It's a reserve for the wetland, for the drainage. Then he sought for compensation or swapping, and those are matters that were processed in Parliament. Of course, we are not involved.
So you took all these issues to council?
Took them to council.
And the council has rejected them?
Unanimously.
So doesn't this point to the fact that you could be the problem? Because even your peers, the political leaders, have rejected your position.
So do numbers make you right? Do you know that...
you are a politician.
Yes. I am, yes, I know.
You know what the game of numbers means.
I know the rule of majority and the game of numbers. But you know what is happening in the Parliament. Don't take me into that area. The people who have defied, actually who have overturned the decision of the Supreme Court about the General Court Martial to return the same kangaroo court. Are they right? And so many other obnoxious resolutions and legislations they have made in Parliament simply because they have the tyranny of numbers. So there is what they call a tyranny of numbers. So there was a tyranny of numbers in the council. I was overwhelmed. But I told them a day of reckoning will come. It is on record. I have the minutes. And it was captured there. You wait for the day of reckoning. And here it has come to pass. So this is a matter where I am asking everybody, this is not my property. You would ask, what do I benefit from opposing this? What do I benefit as an individual? Actually, contrary to what you think, if I were to embrace it, I would be at least 1 million richer. If I embraced it, it wouldn't just come with the empty hands. Oh my God.
Is that what you're looking for?
Honestly speaking, if that was my desire.
You want to be invited to the table?
Listen. How?
We have heard about, actually, I also saw people who were actually writing that, it's a culture of politicians to make noise. Then they're invited to the table where decisions are made. And
I opposed the harm when he was taking over NAKIVUBO Stadium. I was subjected to the same kind of insults and ridicule. The same. And I told you he's bluffing you. He did the same thing. He went to you get even that portrait. He went to General Kaguta Musveveni, and they brought that image where I was showing him the marvel of what NAKIVUBO was going to turn out after renovation. He said, look, it's going to be a first-class, state-of-the-art stadium which could even host the finals of World Cup. That's what...
Well, at least what we have there is different from what was there, isn't it?
Oh my God. Aren't you even ashamed to talk about, is NAKIVUBO stadium? Is it a stadium? Is that a stadium, or an arcade field? There is Hammks arcade. On the arcade, there is a playground. So you call a Hammks arcade playground a stadium? Mosape, I know you are a sports lover. You know Mosape.
I do.
He's a no-nonsense person. You know, he owns stadia, or you call them stadiums, or stadia, I don't know. In South Africa. He's the owner of Mamelodi Sundowns. He came here and to inspect some of the stadiums.
The president of CAF.
The president of CAF is the president of CAF. But for me, I know him as the owner of Mamelodi. Yes, of Onyango. Our golden boy. Is he a boy anyway? So, he came here and was talking around. He said, but you people, are you serious? Then Ham hoodwinked and said, look here, CAF said I must cover the stadium if I am to host Chan here. I must cover the drainage channel. Isn't that the excuse he gave? Why he was constructing those illegal structures along Jugula? That they said, you cover the channel because you're going to host Chan. Not even training is being conducted there. It has not even been approved as a training ground for Uganda Cranes. At least the home team, the host team, Uganda Cranes, could be training from there. Can you imagine to make Ham look like a villager, a pedestrian? CAF approved the Wankurukuku and said, no, we can't take this one here. Can you imagine? So, and that is the person Museveni is hyping as a visionary who has all these ideas. So I was asking you, I opposed that, and I was chastised, terribly chastised. What was I looking for? Because it is our monumental asset, named after the war heroes, the World War II heroes, NAKIVUBO War Memorial Stadium. It's of that significance. It's part of our heritage, our monumental sites here. Now Ham takes it over, turns it into private property, and it can't serve any purpose.